Hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to FanZcene. Greg here, and today I have for you, these are the two best monster movies I've seen in years. And I'm a huge monster movie type fan, like these vampires, werewolves, all that. I'm a huge Universal monster movie fan. I have all the Universal monsters in multiple forms. I just growing up, I've absolutely loved the monster movies. The Wolfman, Dracula, Nosferatu, the Gill Man, Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, the Phantom of the Opera. I've loved these type of movies, these classic monster movies. I guess you could say I'm a bit of a monster kid, is what they call them. I've loved creature features like this, and not just like the Universal monster, but like the Hammer horror and other like old school black and white monster movies and stuff like that. And I actually did a video here a while back about video store memory a long time ago about the Universal monsters and renting them at the video store and whatnot. And just I have that love for them, and it's been so long since I've seen a lot of good new movies and stuff that I like. And I just recently got both of these brand new movies. Brand new movies, believe that? Because usually I stick to the 80s and 90s here on the channel. And man, did these movies I loved them. I loved them. I'm going to talk a little bit about Nosferatu first because I got the 4K here. Right here, the brand new 4K starring Bill Skarsgård and Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe, Nicholas Hoult, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin. This is a great cast directed by Robert Eggers. I think Robert Eggers outdid himself in this movie with Nosferatu. This movie in and of itself reminded me of an old school Universal monster movie. I feel like I could probably put this in this case of classic monsters right here with it. It feels in that vein. It is a mixture of the original Nosferatu, Dracula, which Nosferatu is basically based off of Dracula, but they've changed it. They changed it. It's become its own thing. It's very different. It feels like that. Dracula, the original Nosferatu, it feels like Charles Dickens. It feels like Universal monsters. It's gothic horror. It's this creature feature with this Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu, Count Orlok, with the voice, and depending on what you like his appearance in the movie or not, that's up to you. But I really thought this movie delivered. It delivered more than I could ever anticipate it, because usually I'm a very skeptical person when it comes to new movies. It takes me a while to see new movies and whatnot, but this was like, man, this took me back. This is a very serious movie. It does have some legitimate scares to it. It's like The Exorcist as well too. It's got like a bit of an exorcism. It's got an all around just like gothic British horror feel to it. It also sort of in a way reminded me of the Bram Stoker's Dracula that they did with Keanu Reeves and Gary Oldman, whatnot. But this movie was so good. It looks amazing on 4K. The sound is amazing. Just like everything in this is great. It's a $40 million movie, I believe. And what is this excuse for all these superhero movies and things making $300-400 million to be made? This was made for like 40 million bucks. Or something like that. It was made very on the low, and this is great. And I think this is a much, much better movie than people give it credit for. I think this movie will be talked about for years to come. Robert Eggers really delivered, and this really, really took me back to like the monster movie Dracula and Nosferatu and all that. It's like the color palette. It's a beautifully shot film, beautifully acted film. It's legit. The sound, just everything. I cannot gush about this movie enough. The performances are incredible. Lily Rose Depp is amazing in this. I can't. I don't know what to say about this, but this to me fits right into the classic Universal monsters and Hammer horror movies and all that. It feels right at home with them. It's one of the best monster Dracula, vampire Nosferatu movies I've seen in years. I highly recommend it if you've not seen it. Get the Blu-ray, get the 4K. It looks absolutely stunning. Yes, I highly recommend it. Now, on the flip side, because I am a huge werewolf fan, and the Wolfman is my favorite Universal monster, we have Frank Grillo starring in Werewolves, directed by Stephen C. Miller. Now, this movie is not serious like Nosferatu. It's not, taken very seriously. It's a bit campy. It's cheesy. It's action, a little more action than horror. However, this movie, if you're looking for one of those like 80s, 90s type of just like straight, just cheesy, campy creature feature type movies, this one's right up your alley. The werewolves are all practical effects. The only like CGI that they do on the werewolves is like when they transform, but they're all like people in suits, werewolf suits. The werewolves look great. Frank Grillo is just like this combination of Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone in this movie. This movie is just so fun. Now this is like later on, like when the Universal Monsters movies and all that sort of first came out, they were taken as serious. They were seen as very scary movies, and then as years went on, especially like when we got into the 80s and stuff, they got a little more campy, a little more cheesy, and not that those were bad. That's actually good because a lot of us like campy and cheesy. So like if you from the seriousness of Nosferatu and stuff, if you're just looking for something that's just like action and practical werewolf effects and just like a little dumb but fun. I recommend Werewolves. The story of this essentially, Frank Grillo is living with his sister-in-law and his niece because his brother has died, and there's last super moon, everybody turned into werewolves. So if the moonlight touches, and there's another super moon coming, and if the moonlight touches you, you immediately become werewolf. Everybody, doesn't matter who you are. And so Frank Grillo works for like this government with Lou Diamond Phillips, and they're looking for a cure to stop people from changing. So he like sets up his sister-in-law and niece's house so they protect them from the werewolves, and he goes to help them. And then, of course, all hell break loose. It's like they described it as like the Purge meets I can't remember the other thing, but it's like super werewolf's purge type movie. But it is so good. It is so cheesy, so fun, so campy. The creature effects are amazing. I love the werewolves. It's just like the action and just like him trying to get back to his family after the werewolves break out and everything. It's just like it's manly. It's manly. It's action. It's fun. It's just a great cheesy campy. I know I keep saying it, but that's what it is. It's just a great cheesy campy sci-fi action horror creature feature monster movie from back in the day, and I absolutely love it because these are the two of the best monster movies I've seen in I don't know how many years. And it's kind of funny to see that because it's like Blumhouse and Universal, even and this is a label of Universal, and these are both like Universal, which is funny because these do the Universal monster style movies way better than Blumhouse. So in that horrible Wolfman.
No, 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 no. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
I mean, come on. These people you can tell the people that made these movies are so much more respectful and into the like Eggers himself has admitted to being a monster kid. He loved the original Nosferatu. He loves the Universal monsters. You can tell these people had a little more care and love for the monsters that Universal owns than Universal are giving, because like these are branches of Universal Films, but like Universal is giving Blumhouse and them the carte blanche to do the monster movies, and they suck. I'm sorry. The Invisible Man that they made was not Invisible Man. It was a dude in a suit. It was about abusive relationship. That's not Universal Monster. The Wolfman movie was about like what somebody clearly wanted to make a movie, a fly movie, another fly movie, and they just horrible. It's absolutely horrible, disrespectful to the Universal monsters. They do not get it. Now, I'm not saying that werewolves would fit in a vein of the Universal monster, but it feels like it could be in a vein of the Universal monsters. Nosferatu straight up feels like a Universal monster movie. I absolutely love these movies. These movies are incredible. If you can get these movies, I highly, highly recommend these movies. But also, yes, I'm speaking very highly of them and everything, but they're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Me personally, I'm one to say this. I highly recommend them. I do highly recommend them. I absolutely love them. There's two of my new favorite movies I've seen, but I know they're not for everybody. But to me, they took me back to my childhood of Universal monsters, monster movies. They were classic, old school monster movies. They weren't woke. They weren't message driven. They were just fun entertainment. Werewolves is a little more original than Nosferatu because it is a remake. But I feel like they're both these very original type movies, and I hope I can inspire you to see them because I absolutely love them. But let me know what you guys thought about these two movies, if you did see them or if I've inspired you to see them or pick them up in the comments section down below. And let me know some of your guys' favorite monster movies or favorite new monster movies, because like I said, these are the best two I've seen in absolute years. The best two I've seen in years, as far as I'm concerned. And if you liked what you saw here, maybe consider hitting that like button or subscribing, hitting that bell for notification. That'd be awesome if you're in your guys' subscriptions, or possibly share the video out for everybody to see, or join and become a channel member, because that would help out my channel immensely. Thank you, and shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for being channel members here and for all of your support. To everybody watching, whether you liked me, hated me, or liked this video or hated this video, I thank you for sticking this long. Wherever you all are, please have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. always support physical media because it truly is the superior format now more than ever. Godspeed.